So, how exactly did the Warriors get Jimmy Butler this open? And why did this beautiful set work? In today's episode of Clear Plays, we're going to take a look at how Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green manipulated the Rockets defense in this inverted ball screen to help put away the Rockets in last night's win. Let's review. This possession has been making its way across the Twitter feed, I think in part because it's a perfectly run action between the Warriors' three best players, but also because of how open Jimmy Butler gets. Not to mention, they've been seen practicing it. We've covered the inverted pick and roll before on this channel, but just to give a quick primer, inverted pick and rolls are called inverted because it's the guard or typical ball handler that comes to set the screen instead of the usual screen setter, who's usually like a larger roll man or a forward or a center. This theoretically generates an offensive advantage because now you have a smaller defender, if the defense is switching, that ends up guarding a much larger roll man, which obviously creates an offensive advantage. If they're not switching, then this back screen being set by the guard can usually give the roll man a head start and a sudden cut and force the forwards defender to be a step or two behind. When you add in a third cog, like a playmaking threat, in this case Draymond as a small ball five, you've created a headache for the defense because now the inverted ball screen setter can come here, set this screen, and then he can run some sort of other action, maybe a DHO with the five if the five has the ball, or maybe the five can just take the ball backdoor. There's just a lot of different options that come out of an inverted ball screen, all generated by this initial screen, which creates some sort of mismatch or defensive advantage in some way, shape, or form. Now let's consider how this applies to the Warriors. In this case, your inverted screen setter is not just some random guard, but the most dangerous shooting threat in the league in Steph Curry. So what does this do? It forces the defense to stick two defenders in this case, or at least always one defender on him. In this situation, both Jayshawn Tate and Nate Williams both stick to Curry. Let's look at this example as we've already covered against the Bulls, where the Warriors are doing this little off-ball screening action where Steph is again the one setting the screen. The Bulls in this case don't end up switching, but notice that Ayo Dosunmu wants to stay attached to Steph Curry. He's not leaving him. And Josh Giddey is far too late with this poor screen navigation, which leaves Jimmy Butler wide open. In both cases, this jumble leaves Jimmy uncontested. In the Bucks game that we've also covered on this channel, this jumbled screening action that you're going to see happen down here, where Steph sets this screen for Moody to run off of, and then also allows Jimmy to set this back screen on Jackson Jr., which gets Steph off this back cut. There's just enough confusion created here, which ultimately is because Taurean Prince is not paying attention, that leaves, in this case, Steph wide open. So these screening actions that involve Steph and Jimmy, especially when Steph is setting a screen, can often create an advantage. But another crucial part of this play is Draymond Green. You have to wonder in this play why both Jayshawn Tate and Nate Williams commit to this double, and why Jock Landale is late on this help to Jimmy Butler. So I think you have to ask yourself, what is it that Steph and Dre are threatening here? Their lethal DHOs have been burning the league for years, right? I think everyone can remember situations where Draymond, instead of looking to make this pass, will actually come just give Steph a screen, hand him the ball, and he'll take a shot. And I think what happens is that this threat keeps two on Steph and Jock Landale late on the help because he wants to make sure that Steph doesn't fly off some DHO here and take a wide open shot. The last thing to consider here is floor spacing. For this type of action to work, your weak side needs to be occupied by floor spacers. Why? Well, both Amen Thompson and Aaron Holiday need a compelling reason not to provide some sort of early weak side help when Jimmy comes flying down here and receives this pass from Draymond Green. This means that you need either dangerous shooters occupying the weak side, which allows Jimmy Butler to threaten some sort of kick out pass, or maybe Draymond to make some sort of skip pass, or you need athletes that can quickly drive a closeout in the case that they do make some sort of pass to the weak side. In our last video, Adish covered Moody's improved drives to the basket, and both Pods and Moody have been playing pretty well this game. So both Thompson and Aaron Holiday don't help. They don't provide that early weak side help, which again is another cog that allows Jimmy Butler to make that wide open dunk. So let's put everything together. What happens in this play? In this play, Steph Curry is going to come set an inverted ball screen for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is going to immediately swing this ball to Draymond in the corner. What is this threatening? This is threatening some sort of dribble handoff action with Steph Curry, where he might come take a shot, or where Draymond might just take this to the rim himself. What ends up happening is that two defenders end up sticking to Steph Curry, and Jock Landale is late on the help because they're worried about whatever this action in this strong side wing will be. There's no weak side help from Amen Thompson or Aaron Holiday because the Warriors have effectively spaced it with two scoring or shooting threats, which leaves Jimmy wide open for the dunk. Now, the Warriors are 3-1 since Jimmy Butler has come to the Bay. They've clearly found a good fit in Jimmy's ability to fit within tons of Warriors actions, draw fouls, and become the secondary scoring threat that the Warriors have needed. But for Warriors fans, Jimmy has also become an important fulcrum in actions like these inverted ball screens that use the outside shooting threat of Steph Curry, the playmaking threat of Draymond Green, and the physicality of Jimmy Butler to their advantage. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you agree.